Welcome to Classic Value Investors. My name is Mariusz Konieczny. I am here in the wilderness because some of you have asked me to interview an oil tanker bear, so I didn't want to disappoint you. So today that's what we're doing. We're interviewing a oil tanker bear and we'll see how that goes. Mr. Bear, I really appreciate you taking the time with me today and talking with me about the oil tanker bear thesis. A lot of people have asked me to bring someone of your stature on the show and talk about what it is that you see in the marketplace.
Oh, you're welcome. Anytime I can show others how smart I am and how stupid everyone else is, I am very happy to do so.
Mr. Bear, would you take a few moments to maybe describe the bear thesis so that we can all understand?
I would be more than happy to enlighten you. You see, the oil tanker business is a terrible business. It's a commodity business. The companies have absolutely no pricing power, and they always do wrong by their shareholders. If you just take a look at the last 10 years of any oil tanker stock, some of them are more than 90% down. And therefore, all you need to do is look at the stock price, and that's all you need to know.
Hold on, let me get this straight. Are you saying that just because the stock prices over the last 10 years have been going down, that this is the sole reason why they're going to continue going down?
That's right.
In your opinion, is there ever a time where the oil tanker stocks are a buy?
No, never. The only way to make money in these stocks is to follow my philosophy of ABS.
What does ABS stand for?
Always be short.
Oh, that's odd. I never heard that philosophy before.
Well, that's why you never made money in the oil tanker stocks.
Have you ever given a consideration to the fact that the industry went through a super cycle from 2003 and 2008, and as a result of that super cycle, the industry ordered too many ships, creating an oversupply of ships versus the demand for ships, and this alone has caused this terrible bear market over the following 10 years starting in 2009.
What does this have to do with anything?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I was under the impression that the oil tanker industry was a cyclical industry, meaning that it goes through booms and busts, not just busts. And I was under the impression that from 2003 to 2008, the industry went through a boom, and then from 2009 to 2018 it went through a bust, and then a new boom started in 2019.
Yes, this is correct. The industry is cyclical, but everything changed with the coronavirus.
Could you elaborate a little bit more on this?
You see, what you uneducated bulls don't understand, that just because the order book is low doesn't mean there is a super cycle around the corner. The coronavirus destroyed the demand. Now people are working from home, people are unemployed, and there is virtually no demand for jet fuel. Because of that, demand is going to stay low, and the supply of vessels will keep being oversupplied.
Could such a situation be fixed, meaning considering the fact that about a quarter of oil tankers are 15 years or older, is there a possibility for scrapping, thus taking out the vessel supply from the fleet?
No, I don't see that happening. I think the industry will order more ships.
Wait a minute. You just said that the industry will be oversupplied with ships. Why would they order more ships under such circumstances?
This is because the oil tanker CEOs are like little children. They like toys and they like new ships.
Do you realize that they don't have access to capital to order new ships?
Oh, I never thought of that. Next question, please.
Okay, so if you don't see the possibility of them ordering new ships, do you see a possibility of scrapping?
No. They will hold on to the old ships because it doesn't cost them anything to hold on to them.
I have to respectfully disagree with you. You see, they can't just sit and wait. When it comes to the ships, there are regulations that they have to follow. You see, during the first 15 years of a ship's life, every ship has to go through a survey. And during the first 15 years, that survey has to be done every 5 years. After the ships reach an age of 15 years of age, that survey has to be done every 2.5 years. And as the ships get older, the cost of the survey goes up. So when you're looking at a ship owner that has a ship that's 15 years or older, that particular company or person is facing with a decision of, do I pay $4 million for a survey to extend the life of the ship for another few years, or do I just scrap it and immediately receive about $50 million for the scrap?
Oh, I didn't know that. But even with scrapping, the industry will stay oversupplied, no matter what.
Can you elaborate on this?
Because of coronavirus, the demand for oil tanker transportation will stay low because people are not working. People are working from home and people are not flying, and the scrapping is not going to help that.
I'm not sure if this is the case in your city, but where I live, there are more cars on the road than there were pre-COVID. I mean, I cannot believe how many cars are on the street. And I also asked several other people to see if they experienced the same thing in their cities. And there was a little bit mixed of results, but mostly the people are experiencing the same things, meaning that the traffic is either at the pre-COVID levels or a little bit above, or maybe a little bit below. There were a few cities that, like Arizona and Florida, that this wasn't the case, and maybe Hawaii, this wasn't the case, but mostly people are seeing the same thing. How about you? What do you see in your city?
No, because I stay home and I wait for the second shutdown. I prefer to read all the articles on the internet instead of looking around and seeing what's happening around me.
Have you considered a situation where more people would be driving because they are afraid of taking the public transportation, or they are afraid of flying? Have you considered a situation what might happen to the oil demand or demand for the oil tankers when we actually have a vaccine, or maybe get herd immunity? From what I understand, the pharmaceutical industry is working on a vaccine, and we could get it as early as the end of 2020 and early 2021. So have you considered that possibility at all?
I really don't like some of the questions that you're asking me. They make me feel really uncomfortable.
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to make you feel uncomfortable, but what do you think that oil tanker investors are going to do when they learn that OPEC is going to increase production, that we are very close to having a vaccine, and that the oil demand is increasing faster than anticipated?
Well, this is where I think you are wrong. OPEC will never increase production. The demand for oil will always stay low. And besides, everybody will be driving electric cars very soon. And vaccine will never get developed.
Wow, this is very pessimistic in my opinion. I do agree with you that the electric cars are the future of transportation. But have you considered the fact that the oil industry also knows that the electric cars are the future, and this reason alone might be the reason why they might not order new ships? Because think about it. If you're an oil tanker executive and you think that electric cars are going to take over, let's say within the next 15 years, don't you think that they would think twice about ordering a new ship? A new ship might have a life of 20 years, and are they going to order new ships just without thinking about it if they're going to be obsolete in 10 years from now? Have you thought of that?
Now, I wish I never agreed to this interview.
Relax. You can keep shorting these stocks. Obviously, it's been working for you this entire time, so I'm sure it's going to keep working for you.
Yes, that makes me feel a lot better, and I always want to be shorting them.
Do you have any concluding thoughts on the subject?
I just think that the best thing is to hate the oil tanker stocks no matter what. Always be shorting and always be hating. The way to think about it is, when the rates are high, you should think that they will come down. When the rates are coming down, you should think that they will always be coming down. And when the rates are at the rock bottom, they will always stay at the rock bottom. In my opinion, they should never be bought under no circumstances.
Wow, thank you very much for your time.
My pleasure.